Okay, yeah, I think I've totally mastered. And actually, you don't even need to hold down to do the drop dash. Yeah, you can just so basically, yeah, you jump up, you rapidly tap the jump button, and then you hold it down when you land. Yeah, just like that. Now, the tricky thing with that is, yeah, you have to make sure that you aren't rapidly tapping the button for any other reason. Actually, yeah, I don't know that I am doing that, though. Or do you even need to tap the button? 1, 2... Okay, so you need to make sure to not let go of the jump button during a jump, basically. Or no, I don't know how to describe this. Yeah, basically, you don't even need to rapidly tap it in order... Oh, this is actually a redo of a... I think this special stage is from Sonic and Knuckles. I think this one is from. Or actually, one of the ways you can kind of tell is that there was a bit of a change in the design approach, I feel, or I kind of noticed from the special stages in Sonic 3 onto Sonic and Knuckles. The ones in Sonic 3 tended to be much more linear, in that there's like a very simple, straightforward path you can follow. Like you can sort of take. You can diverge from that path a little bit. Like there are a few different ways to get through the special stages, but in general, there's like a simple, straightforward, like straight line path you can take from start to finish in the Sonic 3 special stages, and then that'll clear them for you. Super easy. Whereas the Sonic and Knuckles ones tended to be much more wide open, and it was easier to get lost in them. Especially the first one. I feel like it takes me longer to complete the first special stage in Sonic and Knuckles than it does to complete any of the others. I just like wander that vast, like empty field looking for the last few spheres, it feels like. Although, with that said, it feels like they've sort of scaled the extra stages or the Blue Sphere stages appropriately in this version in the Sonic Mania here. Just like another one of the things that they sort of improved on from the old games. Where it's like, yeah, it has not taken a super long time to get through any given... In fact, since I'm talking about Blue Sphere again, we'll just do another one right now. It feels like none of them are super long. Like I'm not getting lost, it's not taking... Or, I mean, part of that is the fact that I'm not getting perfects. And you can see that it encourages you to here, because, yeah, you get the gold medal if you get it, which, whatever that does. Unlocking secrets or something? I don't know. There's probably an achievement for it, too. I don't know. Like, I'm not exactly a fan of Blue Sphere. It's the sort of thing... Like, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not crazy about it. It's fine for what it is, which is, like, you know, the extra thing that you do to get the good ending. And you know, do it 14 times to do that. But, this is actually one thing I slightly preferred about the old games. Like, I like the approach to the lamppost special stages in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where you get, like, the bonus stages where you just get extra rings or power-ups or whatever. And, it's like something that actually helps you, like, interacts with the main game. There's actually a reason to do it. Whereas here, I'm just sort of speculating and assuming, basically, that I'm gonna get secrets out of this. Because, frankly, why else would this be in the game? So, yeah. Oh yeah, and that's perfect timing. I'm done talking about Blue Sphere, I think. I actually don't know if I'll do any more of these throughout the rest of the game. I think I'm over Blue Sphere at this point. Oh yeah, those little ink bunny enemies. It's kind of an interesting thing, or I guess, or whatever. We'll probably see them again. It's actually a design from an enemy that I think it appeared in the manual for Sonic 1, but it wasn't actually in the game. I think it might have surfaced in like some... What the hell? That wasn't even hidden. Whatever. I'll take all the chances I can get to try and catch this damn UFO. Okay, so. So we'll go for spheres and an efficient racing line, and we've already fucked it up. Okay, so much for that plan. But yeah, we're definitely going to go for spheres over rings, even though we desperately need the rings at this point. I don't know. Hopefully the opportunity for rings will present itself. Because that's the thing, is we basically... I mean, you know, rings will extend your timer and everything, and that's all well and good, but the real way to make sure you don't run out of time is to actually win the stage efficiently. Like, yeah, you can see that the thing is not getting quite as far away from us as it did the first time through, and actually I think if I play my cards right and don't screw anything up, I can maybe start gaining ground on this thing and catch it. If not on this lap, then on the next one. In fact, we're not even going to try for all the blue spheres. We're just going to cut every corner we can. Okay, we'll grab a few rings. Make sure we don't time out. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're gaining ground on this sucker. Oh yeah, now we got him. Now we got him. Boom. Boom, right at the end of lap 2. Beautiful. Yeah, it took me many, many tries to get that one my first time through the game. Yeah, probably a good 5 tries at least. 6 took me, like, I think 6 took me 2. And then, yeah, number 7 I remember getting on my first try. Although it was not easy by any means, I was, yeah, very close on my special stage 7 run first time through the game. Or you know what, yeah, that probably dumps us out that way. So yeah, I probably missed what was supposed to be the main path there, and just like accidentally stumbled across the special stage ring there, I think because it was the first thing that kind of occurred to me, or the first, the simplest pathway that presented itself. Man, I want a shield to catch these, to keep these rings. Oh yeah, the blue ring thing is a bit strange. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to help that much. I think this might be the end of the stage, right up here. I think we're coming up on near the end of the stage. Anyways, so yeah, the way the blue ring works is, yeah, you get the blue ring monitor, and it doesn't actually give you rings. Instead, it gives you that little blue icon there. And yeah, now we got another one. I was really hoping that would be a shield. And it doesn't really do much of anything. What it does is, when you get hit, instead of, like, shitting out a bunch of the tiny little rings and just, like, losing most of your rings to the ether, you'll drop a bunch of big rings instead when you got that blue ring power up. And I think the big rings are worth, like, 10 each. So it basically makes it so that it's a lot easier to recover more of your rings. Like if I mean, that's the other small improvement I did. Just a lot of small touches in this game that I just love. I love the way the rings bounce in this game. Like the way that they'll obey like collision detection and actually bounce off of objects and walls and stuff. It makes it much, much easier to collect your rings. It makes it less likely that they'll like fall off the geometry, which was sometimes a problem in the old Sonic games where it's like you lose your rings and then they like fall below the floor or something. Yeah, I think I'm actually done with the blue sphere. I don't think I want to do it again. Neat little intro there where they kind of show you how the boss works. And he should get... okay. Yeah, now he's gonna get busted. Oh, hey, Tails actually helping us out a little bit there. Am I gonna get dinged here? Okay, we're fine. I don't trust it. I want to keep my 100 or I could just take the hit and demonstrate how the blue ring works, I guess, but oh, come on, get him, get him, get him! Oh, wow, that actually... oh, that's right, we got 4 hits on the first one. Beautiful. Now, can I get a monitor? No. Oh, yeah. Oh, and yeah, just like the new Sonic sprite and like just the sort of slight redesigns of all the characters. Like just the way the game looks, it's like obviously way better than the old Sonic games. It's like it's not Genesis level graphics. It's easily this is like the kind of thing you'd see on the Sega CD for sure back in the day. It's I don't know if it's better than that, but it's certainly at least Sega CD level graphics. And yeah, the game just looks gorgeous. And yeah, again, this new zone I should talk about too, where it's again, they're like actually doing like I just love the look of it. It's actually really reminiscent of a Freedom Planet zone, I think. Just not any level in particular from Freedom Planet, but just like of the type of thing, the type of level you tended to see in Freedom Planet. Like I think Like I think you could almost transpose like the actual graphics set of this zone on into like a Freedom Planet level, and it would fit in almost perfectly. You'd have to change the color palette, I think, a little bit, but other than that, basically what I'm saying is that Sonic Mania is a complete ripoff of Freedom Planet, and yeah, Christian Whitehead and co. should be ashamed of themselves for this utterly shameless thievery of, yeah, the fantastic work that the Freedom Planet crew did. It's kind of funny, though. And actually, that's a little bit of another thing that I was sort of apprehensive about when it came to this game, is that, like, expectations were super high, but actually... And, you know, talk about the Sonic cycle and how there hasn't been a real good Sonic game since... I mean, depending on who you ask, since Sonic, what was it? Sonic... Shit, what was that one called that everyone loved? Was it Sonic Genesis? Sonic... I don't know, the 3D one, where it's like you go back in time. It's like you have to fix the time stream, and you go through, like, all the old Sonic zones, and it's basically this game in 3D, kind of. Or, like, the same concept. That's kind of funny, the way they've, like, it seems like more and more... Honestly, not just video games, but just media in general have been pursuing, like, this time travel theme as an excuse for just, like nostalgic binges. Like I said, Sonic Generations, that was it. Sonic Generations did the exact same thing, where it's like, okay, we're gonna do a time travel plot to give you an excuse to go through all the old zones. And it's like, yeah, brilliant. And I mean, I don't know, some people like that. I'm not a huge fan of, like, just the mechanics of 3D Sonic in general. So, like I agree that Sonic Generations was the best implementation of that type of game, but it still wasn't exactly my cup of joe, per se. But, yeah, now this game goes and does the same thing, and I had another example in my head, but I can't think of it at the moment. But, yeah. But, you know, you've got that one other example, and that proves my point, for sure. We're actually... if you go into movies, X-Men Days of Future Past is kind of an example of that. Or is it? No, that was more of an excuse to merge two timelines. Again, it was more of a Star Trek Generations thing, where they're trying to... Not so much a nostalgia trip as trying to get the old cast with the new cast kind of thing. I don't know. I'm sure if I thought about it more, I could come up with more examples to prove my point, but... Yeah. But yeah, a bit of an unimaginative concept, I guess. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna do time travel to give you an excuse to backtrack through all these classic zones. And then we don't have to design new ones. Except they did design new ones, and they're frickin' sweet. Oh, that is some nonsense! Oh... Oh, I'm not happy about that. It's weird, too. This guy doesn't generally damage you. Like, yeah, you get hit with the sword and he freezes you. Oh, that's the thing. If you get hit with the flip, though... Oh, that's kind of funny. Or, okay, this was a boss that gave me a lot of grief my first time through. Just because he gets... It doesn't start out tough, but he gets tougher and tougher as you go along. The trick is that you can actually kill the starfish. Not when they're coming at you, like when they're flying through the air and spinning, they'll damage you if you jump into them. But once they're stuck on the ground, you can attack them and damage them. And that makes things a lot easier, because, yeah, once you get the fight to, I think at this point... Yeah, he's going to shoot out 3 of them. And if you think, like I did the first time through, that you need to... that you can't hit them, and that you need to avoid them when they're stuck in the ground, it becomes super difficult. And then eventually I figured out that, oh, you actually can destroy them. And that makes it super easy. Although I got punked anyways. But, yeah, that was one of those bosses that I wasn't sure about. It's a fine boss fight when... I love... I didn't think to do it till now, but I love trying to make Sonic jump off the edge of the capsule like that. And then after this, is it... Oh yeah, after this... I was surprised to see this one. So like I said, I avoided spoilers coming into this game. So like I knew that there were going to be old zones, but I didn't know how many, and I certainly didn't know which ones. I had heard about Green Hill and Chemical Plant, and that was it. I was really surprised to see stuff from Sonic CD in here. And yeah, Stardust Speedway, I don't know. This is probably the one I would have picked, actually. Yeah, it's just... Which is weird, because this is actually one of my Actually, I haven't done a Let's Play of Sonic CD yet, have I? I've been planning to for a while, but I never got around to it. I'll maybe save my detailed thoughts about the game as a whole for that inevitable series. I say inevitable as if me doing future videos at all were inevitable, but yeah, I don't know. Stardust Speedway is like the most memorable, I'd say. Like if you were to say like, okay, which Sonic CD zone are we gonna put in Sonic Mania? Like it would take a lot of thought, because there's like arguments to be made. Or I don't know, this or Quartz Quadrant would be like my first and second choices, I think. Maybe not even necessarily in that order. But yeah, most of it comes down to the aesthetic. Although to actually play, yeah, this is actually maybe my least favorite zone to actually play in Sonic CD. I don't like the gimmick of just like the notion of Stardust Speedway, where you're like, it's basically, yes, like I've talked in the past about the sort of speedway versus obstacle course design in Sonic games, where you've got some zones that are speedways and some that are obstacle courses, and most of them in the later games that are sort of a mesh between the two in varying places and varying degrees. And I really prefer the games where that's the case, where you have a bit of both aspects of Sonic level design in every zone. And because yeah, I don't know, Stardust Speedway, it really is a bit too much of the speedway, where there's just like nothing to it. You're like just like zooming through these little tunnels and you know, changing tracks occasionally. But other than that, and it's like a bit of a maze of like tunnely speedways. But other than that, I don't know, it's just not too interesting to play. I don't remember any gimmicks in that zone that were super interesting or iconic. With that said, in terms of aesthetics, like the music and the look of the zone are phenomenal. It's like the best, probably just the most memorable and among the best looking and sounding zones in the game. And again, because it wasn't such a good or interesting zone in the first place, I feel like it probably has the most potential for improvement. So this is one of the ones I would have picked to put in Sonic Mania if we were gonna do a Sonic CD zone. Oh, I've never seen this part of the... And yeah, I guess, and again, once again, mixing in the elements of multiple zones from different Sonic games. We got aspects of Marble Garden in here as well, with the swinging spikes and the little ring pulley things as well. Yeah, like that kind of bit right there, where you're just like zooming through the tunnels and pressing left and right to switch which track you're on. That's like what the original Stardust Speedway was all about, and that was just, I don't know, that's just not fun for me in the slightest. But yeah, there's, like I said, room for improvement, and they improved it. There's a lot more going on in this version of the zone. You know what? I was gonna say I kind of feel like Blue Sphere, but no, we're not gonna waste the speed shoes. This is the Stardust Speedway, and it's a good version of Stardust Speedway, so we're gonna use the speed shoes to run headlong into danger and get punked. Which is what as God intended. That's what God put speed shoes on this earth for, is for you to run into enemies like an idiot. Are we going backwards or are we going forwards? I feel like we're going backwards, so let's go forwards. And yeah, they got these plant things, too. I don't think these come from any particular Sonic game. Could be mistaken. I don't have a great memory of Sonic Advance or Sonic... other portable Sonic games. What, Sonic Advance and Sonic Rush were the other ones. I don't think there's any Sonic Rush in this game, which is fine, I guess. It was kind of a different aesthetic. Capturing the aesthetic... You know what, we will. I didn't really mean to do this, but sure, we'll do it. This is a special stage from Sonic 3, I believe. And yeah, if I remember the layout correctly, this is mostly, like I said, one of the ones where you can just go through, straight line, just like, basically like you collect some blue spheres, and then once you're done collecting a group of blue spheres, the next group presents itself to you. It's like, oh, there's blue spheres off in the distance, let's go get those. We got all those, now we can see the next group off in the distance, so let's go get those. You just, like, move linearly from one cluster of spheres to the next. And it's just really simple. I like the way they kind of expanded the concept with sort of the more open and maze-like and almost puzzle-like levels in a lot of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles special stages, but on the other hand, it did make them a bit more time-consuming and sometimes aggravating to explore. I feel like they struck a good balance with the design here of the specials of the Blue Sphere stages, or I say the design as if they designed that one. The selection of Blue Sphere stages. This is a weird little boss. There was... Oh, and hey, Tails is going to help me out, too. I don't know, it just seems to me... It seemed to me the first time through that there's, like, nothing to this boss. Like, I got hit with that laser the first time through. And the second time through also, apparently. But if I had bounced the correct way off of that, bounced the way I intended... I don't even know if there's more to his pattern there, but I one-cycled that guy my first time through as well. Oh my god, how did I never notice this till now? The wink that Sonic gives you in time to the little sound effect after the points tally up. I literally never noticed that until now. That's amazing. This is... I just love this. So many just wonderful callbacks and stuff to the old games. Though with that said, I don't see the point of... And yeah, so that was... So specifically that was Stardust Speedway Past in Act 1 of this zone, and now they're... Yeah, now we're in the present version of the zone. Yeah, which is a superb use of like the Act 1, Act 2 transition. Which is like one of the best things that Sonic 3 and Knuckles added to the series, I think, is the way that you get like a sort of a slightly different feel between Act 1 and Act 2 of each zone, and different music as well. And I think it's great that they kept it for this game as well. Not just kept it, but expanded on it as well. The aesthetic differences between the different acts of the same zone are like way beyond what they were in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And in a good way, I think. Like, yeah, not only a completely different look, but like a completely different feel and a completely different set of obstacles. Although not really completely different. It has enough of the flavor of Stardust Speedway to still be recognizable as like the same zone. It's like they're similar. It's like they're the same but different, you know? I actually want to get up there. Collect those ring diamonds. Whatever. Aw, oh, man. And actually, how close are we? I'm trying to think of like how much game is left and like how much time I have to get the rest of the emeralds, because we need, what, 2 more of them? And depending on how stage 6 and 7 go, we might not have enough time. Whatever. If we get him, we get him. If we don't, then we don't. Oh, hey, we did get the diamonds after all. Or we got one of them, at least. Oh, come on. Okay. I think that might be the sign. That big pause there might be the sign that I'm out of stuff to talk about with this game, which would be a shame. I mean, you know, we're gonna have the future zone, like the later zones and all of stuff to talk about as far as what's going on screen and whatnot. But yeah, and actually, I think that bit right there, I don't quite have the Sonic CD layouts memorized nearly as well as the Genesis games, but I believe that bit right there, that sequence of tunnels, was taken directly from Sonic CD. Really? I feel like they cheated me out of that one, but whatever. They gave it back to me, so I'll let it slide. Hey, more diamonds in the sky. Oh, I wonder if that's intentional. I don't even know if anyone will get that reference. That's the thing, is there's so many neat references and callbacks and stuff in this game. It's like, I don't even know if people who aren't, like, Sonic fanatics will even get them all. I don't even know that I'm enough of a Sonic fanatic to get them all. Yeah, this blue ring thing is kind of a questionable usefulness, I feel. I wish that it gave you... I wish that it gave you some rings in addition to the benefit of the blue ring thing. Oh, it's boss time. I mostly really enjoyed this boss the first time through. There are problems with it, but I mostly think it's good. And yeah, we got the Metal Sonic. Oh, and actually, yeah. Speaking of the callbacks and references to the old games, we're gonna come across one of those at the end of this. Yeah, I feel the way they handled this fight was mostly really good. Like it's a good like sort of best, sort of like the Metal Sonic greatest hits type thing, where you've got sort of aspects of his different appearances from the original classic Sonic games. Where here it's sort of a callback to like when you're racing him in his original appearance in Sonic 3, or Sonic CD rather. Here we've got two callbacks here. So there you got that Silver Sonic who's coming out the dispenser in the center here. He is from Sonic 3 or no, sorry, Sonic 2 on the Game Gear or Game Gear and Master System, I guess. And it actually took me a while to figure this out. Or the trick here is basically when he dashes at you, you've got to dash back at him, and that'll make him bounce around and hit Metal Sonic, which is a bit... I don't know about that. It makes perfect sense if you know the way Silver Sonic behaved in the original Sonic 2 Game Gear, because like that's the way that Silver Sonic worked in Sonic 2 on Game Gear. Is you hit him when he's spinning, and you both go bouncing around. And you know, if you know that, then this makes sense. It's like, okay, I can't seem to reach Metal Sonic, and I'm killing hundreds of these dudes and nothing's happening. Maybe I'll try spinning into him when he's spinning. And if you know that, if you know the way Silver Sonic worked in the original game, that's something you might think to try. But if you've never played Sonic 2 on Game Gear or Master System, which I think most people playing this probably haven't, then you might not necessarily think to try that or figure it out. Because you would expect that you'd like take damage or something. Oh, I tried to do a drop dash there and it didn't work. Okay. Alright, here's what we do. Let's just kill him. Because yeah, this is the most reliable way I've found to hit him. Oh, come on. Because yeah, the most reliable method I've found here is just to spin him. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so at least I know now the extendable arm attack hits you even if you're spinning. Okay, that's the trick, is you gotta just rev the spin dash once. Oh yeah, one other callback that most people... Oh, okay. The little thing that Metal Sonic was kind of slotted into there in the background, that, I believe, comes from Knuckles Chaotix. I haven't actually played that game myself, but I've seen playthroughs, and I believe in the final battle, or the pre-final battle with Metal Sonic... yeah, he slotted into a thing that looks exactly like that. And maybe shot sparks at you? I don't remember. It's been a while since I saw the one playthrough that I saw of that game. Okay, so coming to my one criticism of this boss fight, or actually one of my criticisms of this boss fight, because I guess I criticized the sort of unintuitiveness of having to spin into the Silver Sonic when he's spinning. The other thing is that it goes on for a bit too long. I don't think we need 2 chase sequences. I feel like one chase sequence leading either to or from the first phase of the fight would have been sufficient. And yeah, this is my other criticism of this fight, which is the rushing spike wall, which has the problem that I said that the Green Hill boss didn't have, which is that, yeah, you get kind of stuck in the back and can end up chaining hits, which is not fun. Also, it's just kind of a pain in the ass. So yeah, I don't know. I like the concept, but the execution wasn't perfect, and that was just bollocks right there. Yeah, I'm liking that boss fight actually less this time around than I did the first time. I feel like it was easier to get safe hits on him as Knuckles, because you could glide into him, and you get a really significant bounce back to sort of get you back on track, running away from the spike wall. Oh hey, no transition here as well. That's a bit disappointing. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, I was going to try to land on the spikes there, just because that was one of the dumbest things, I think, about the original Sonic 3 zone, but whatever. They got rid of the fish, at least, so that's one less thing to accidentally collide into and kill yourself blindly on.